in the cave today, and I'm still working on this Black Pearl here. She's a mess. The gas tank was a mess. I pulled the sending unit out, and it was frozen solid. Just goes to show you, you need to drain gas out of these tanks. Like, today's gas is the worst. It attracts all kinds of moisture, and it's just a mess. But I stuck this thing, it wouldn't even move. I stuck it in this in that metal rescue right there, and this thing looks like usable now, and it actually functions. It works. I tested it and it works. So that's a savings. I don't want to put too much money into this thing, but I'd like to try to get it running because I think it would be cool if it actually would run. So we got the front brakes bled, and they're holding, so I don't know how long they'll hold. But actually, on this bike, only one caliper on the front brake works when you pull the front brake lever. The back brakes, when you push the pedal, the other caliper, or all the brakes work, I think is how it works. I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me. Anyhow, so this thing's good to go. I'm gonna drain the oil out of it and do an oil change on this. I know that's kind of probably premature, but I kind of want to see the condition of the oil and see, you know, if this is worth going further on. I also removed that relay, bypassed it, and was able to turn the motor over, so the motor turns over still. So that's where we're at. We're gonna keep going, and I'll keep you posted. Also took the top case off. I'm gonna get these bags off this thing so we can get to the rear drive shaft and everything. Look at that. We'll service that. And hopefully when I get that relay back, we'll be able to tell if any of the electrical on the dash functions or not. I've got the radio out of this, kind of cleaned everything. I still got to do some more cleaning. But if it all works, we get it running, I'm going to pull the plastics off of it, and we'll give it a Man Cave Mayhem paint job, and then we'll roll on this bad boy. But we're going to try to do it on a budget. I'll keep you posted. That's all for now. What I have here is the 2004 Suzuki Marauder 1600. Now this V-twin motorcycle is a beast, and it was sitting out in the sun forever. I'll show you. We got like an overflow bottle that wants to just kind of disintegrate. So I don't know. The engine looks pretty clean. Everything looks good on it. So I might be able to get this thing running fairly cheap. I mean, for $100, what the heck? So I did purchase a fuel pump for it. The fuel pump went bad, and the factory fuel pump's like big money. Here's the fuel tank. You can hear that. There's a bunch of acorns in it or whatever. It was sitting out in the weather. So I imagine some squirrels stuffed some crap in it, or pack rats or something. But we're going to get that thing going, and I'll show you where I'm at with the fuel pump. I went the more inexpensive route and got like an aftermarket fuel pump, but it looks very similar because they want a fortune for this assembly. And so this is the old fuel pump. I'm going to try to, I put some connectors on it. We're going to try to get it all wired in and get that ready to go. So I got a lot going on, getting ready to retire, which is a good thing. So I can spend more time doing this stuff, do this full time, right? But anyhow, I'm going to get parts for this Marauder, and we're going to get this thing going, hopefully soon. That's all for now. While we're waiting for that tank gasket, I got this coolant overflow bottle. It's in a lot better shape than this one, so we're going to go ahead and replace that, get that on there, and then we're going to push the bike back in the garage, and we'll get back to it when we get the part for it. That's all for now. All right, we got that new overflow tank on and everything put back together, cleaned up and put back together. So we're going to leave this project until we get the gasket for the tank. Once we get that, we're going to put the tank on, fire it up, and we'll change all the oils in it. It's got fairly clean oil in it, so we'll fire it up, get it running, warmed up, and change all the oils in it, flush the coolant, flush the radiator out. It does have radiator coolant in it because I checked it. And we'll just go through everything. The rear drive shaft, the gear oil in the back there, we're going to change that out too. And we'll just get this thing running, cleaned up, and maybe sold, right? But for a $100 bike, if we have to put a few $100 into it to make it work, that's not half bad, really, in my book. So we'll keep going on this project, and we got a bunch of other projects. So we'll keep you posted. Until then, stay cool. All right, so I hit a little snafu. I ordered the wrong gasket for this fuel pump. This is for 2003. That was my bad. I thought I had the right one, so I ordered that. So 2004 evidently is a little different. So I don't have the fuel tank, or I'm not able to hook all that up. But I did hook the battery up, and I found out the bike's got 37,000 miles on it. So let's turn that on. There we go. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna get it in here. But you can see 37,000 miles. And the good news is, she turns over. So motors want to run if we can get the, and it sounded like I heard the fuel injectors engaging. So that's a good thing. So now if we just get that fuel tank gasket for right here, the right one, which is like 40 ridiculous bucks, and we should be able to get this thing running. We'll see. That's all for now. All right, today we are working on the Suzuki Marauder 1600 gas tank. I got my 2 cans of Diet Coke or Coke Zero, and we are going to go over to Andrew's and go to his shop where it's a little warmer and we can get this thing painted. The gas tank, I've got all kinds of different paints. We're gonna try and come up with some concoction to throw on this tank and make it look good before we throw the tank on the bike. All right, we're over here at Andrew's house. We're gonna get this bad boy primered up and painted. Andrew's super excited about it, aren't you, Andrew?
I'm super excited.
Yeah, so we're going through all this crappy paint here that we have, and we're gonna try and see if we can make this really work. And when I mean really work, I mean sort of work, you know? We're not perfectionists here. So we're gonna get some primer on this bucket, and then we're gonna put it over here in the corner of the shop, and we're gonna visqueen this all off, and we're gonna shoot some paint on it. So I'll keep you posted. That's all for now. All right, we got our portable paint booth set up here in the corner of the garage. This thing works out pretty good for small items, so we're gonna go ahead and get this covered up, and we're gonna put the tank on there, and we're gonna go ahead and primer the tank probably first. We just gotta get some of Andrew's tools out of the way. He's got all his fancy stuff he doesn't want to get overspray on. Ooh! All right, we're gonna get some primer shot on this thing, and then we'll go to the next step, deciding on what color to paint it. We got the gun all set up, we got the tent all set up, and we're going for it. All right, we got this thing primered up good. So we're letting this sit and dry out a little bit, and still debating on a color, but it came out pretty good. I'm not a painter by any means, nor do I claim to be, but I got a bunch of scrap paint and I figured I'd shoot it and give it a shot. I don't have a cup gun. I don't know, a HVLP gun. I got a cup gun. So I'm working on that. We set up our little Mickey Mouse paint booth here, and we're just working on getting this done. So once that tank's done, we'll get the gasket and the pump in it. We'll see if this $100 bike fires up. Finished product, we got this freaking tank done, baby, and it looks pretty doggone good for a white trash paint job, right, Andrew?
Yep.
We weren't even sure if the freaking paint that we used was gonna work because we mixed it with a bunch of random different paint stuff, so hopefully it's all gonna work out. We're letting it dry now, and we'll be back to you soon to show you what else is going on. All right, man, we're making progress on this $100 motorcycle build. I'm slowly getting these side covers cleaned up, ready for paint. I'm repainting this because I had a little orange peel situation here. I don't know if I mixed the paint right or not, but we're gonna sand it down and just kind of shoot it again with a couple more coats. So these are the last few items that need to be painted, and hopefully we can get this bike back together, get it cleaned up, and get it polished and ready for use. Bring it back to life, that's what I say. All right, round 2 on the paint. We got everything hung and we're ready to go. We're gonna shoot this bad boy. Hopefully it'll come out good. All right, now you can see we got some paint on these fenders and side covers. And the tank, we reshot the tank. Looks like it's coming out pretty good. We're just gonna keep going on this, and hopefully we'll have this bike back together soon. That's going to about do it for episode 2 of the $200 bike build. If you haven't yet, hit that bell for notifications. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at mancave_mayhem. And just remember, I'm just a man in a cave causing mayhem. Thanks again for watching, folks. Stay tuned for part 3.